Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Gooner Gathering. My name is Gooner Meads, Lee Meadows. Tonight, I shall be talking about my thoughts before the game tomorrow night against Ipswich Town. I will be talking about Bukayo Saka's injury, and I will briefly touch upon Ipswich's current form. So, I think the big question going forward at the moment with Arsenal is, so who replaces Bukayo Saka? We know that Bukayo picked up a very serious hamstring injury against Crystal Palace in our 5-1 win the other day in the league. Now, let's briefly look back at our lineup in that game and how did we line up in that game. Well, so let's just talk about Kai Havertz playing in a midfield position with Thomas Partey and Martin Odegaard. Saka playing, of course, in his right-hand side position. Jesus in the number 9 position with Martinelli on the left. Now, I think the obvious thing to do for us at the moment is to put Kai up at number 9. I would think you want to put Martinelli on the right hand side, and you can't drop Gabriel Jesus. You just can't. After 5 goals in 2 games against Palace, I'd probably want to be seeing, Jesus lining up on the left. He can very easily change position there with Kai. Kai is very happy on going anyway. He's quite a versatile forward player, isn't he? And of course, a vacancy in the midfield would mean that Declan Rice will come back in. He made such an impact against Palace as a substitute, of course. Do I anticipate any other changes coming towards tomorrow's game? Unless there's major injury that I don't know about, I would imagine we'd start pretty much the same as we lined up. Yeah, Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel. For me, I'd play Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back again because I don't want to rush Calaflori back. That's just my opinion. Odegaard, Thomas Partey, and like I said, Declan Rice would come back in for me. But what other options do we have in terms of Bukayo Saka being out? So having thought about this a little bit, so initially I'd think Jesus going on to Saka's side on the left probably makes sense. You could make a very strong argument for Ethan Nwaneri going over there. And a lot of people have been screaming for him to be playing in the starting lineup. Now, I'm one of those, whether you like it or not, to say I'm not sure that Ethan is quite ready for that starting 11 position right now. I do think he's a very valuable player to have in the squad, and certainly if we're in a good position tomorrow evening, I'd definitely be very welcoming on him coming on in the last, say, 30 minutes or so, because you have to bear in mind we have some very tricky fixtures coming ahead in terms of Brentford and Brighton and Hove Albion, which you have to look like, bigger picture, right? You could argue that Trossard could play, and yeah, I'm not necessarily against that either. Trossard is one of our most experienced players in the Arsenal squad, and he will certainly fill position if you asked him to do it. I'm not so much of a fan of Kai Havertz. As the boss has said, Mikel Arteta said, Kai can fill in for Bukayo. I'm not so much of a fan of that because I don't think that's his natural game. The way he's built, I see him more of a central player. I see him more of the striker, despite what maybe some of my fellow members of my channel will think, that's how I think I should play. That's where we that's the squad we have to play with. I would go with that. But there's plenty of argument to be had either way on that respect. That's how I feel. So, how are our opponents for tomorrow looking? Well, they got defeated in their last game by Newcastle United. They got beaten quite comprehensively by them. I think Isaac, Arsenal target, if you believe everything you read in the media, did get a hat trick. They did score very early on, did Newcastle, in 26 seconds after a bit of play on the right-hand side wasn't dealt with properly, and Isaac managed to get the ball in the net. From looking back at what happened, they got caught playing around in the back, and they for the third goal, and yes, again, Isaac was in to punish them from that. It'll be very interesting to see how we get on against Ipswich. We haven't played them for a long old time in the Premier League. Must be about 20 or so years. Probably worth mentioning that Delap, who's been probably the most influential attacking player for Ipswich Town, was missing in their previous game. I think he is back for this one. But again, it'll be interesting to see how we get on. I am really hoping to see Arsenal showing a very dominant display. That's what I'm after. No disrespect to my good friend Jovi, who's an Ipswich Town fan, who's in my place of work. But I really hope to see Arsenal going out all guns blazing on this one, much like we did against Palace. I do want to see us being a little bit more solid in our defensive ranks than we did against Palace in the league game. I don't want to see any silly mistakes that we seem to make in a rather worrying manner, to be fair, especially Saliba in particular. I won't say that's a massive worry for me, because it's extremely rare for us to see us make so many errors like we did in the Palace game. But we shall see on the night, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens tomorrow night. Be sure to join us on Gooner Gathering tomorrow night. My intention is to do the watch along tomorrow night. Hopefully, I think we'll start from about 8 o'clock tomorrow night. It's an 8:15 kickoff, and let's hope we have a great night with it. Sam Wilson, I believe, if possible, will be joining us. I hope you can too. So as I'm getting set to sign off for tonight, please don't forget to subscribe to Gooner Gathering on the YouTube channel, and please give us a like, give us a comment. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow night? Follow us at Gooner Lee Meads or at Gooner Gathering on the Twitter or X. And yes, we shall be back with you tomorrow night from about 8 o'clock if we all things going well. All right, so until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching our stream. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and Gooner Gathering will be with you very soon indeed.